and recommendations. I'm going to ask the scrutiny officer to summarise the key points the committee made and can make some conclusions and recommendations. You see? Just to remind you, the recording has started back. To be mindful, because people do forget.
Thank you, Chair. So members asked various questions and obtained responses from officers and cabinet members. I start off, go through in sequence as we did the report. Councillor Stephen Bledsoe asked about the one council approach, which is the process aspiration in relation to this report. And there was a response from Andrew Thomas regarding crossing over and being aware of collective contributions. Chair, you asked about the national guidance, and Andrew Thomas, the officer, was going to send information on the model of how leadership functions. It was noted on page 30, the review periods reference, the dates needed to be updated on the document. The RAGS data should have been 2022 instead of 2019. Moving on. Councillor Stephen Bledsoe mentioned on page 19 there was only 5 town and community council responses when seeking to engage the views of the TTC, for officers to be mindful of the timing of deadlines for responses. That's something to be noted.
That was noted, yeah.
There was also to be noted on page 66 E4. The RAGS data is 2022 states amber, but the should be coloured green. And then Councillor Martin Williams discussed being able to use weather pitches and people not using them due to there being a perception of them being costly. And Councillor John Paul Brandell responded that they are for community use and guidelines are available. He advised the prices are set by governing bodies, but he was happy to look and work with the schools and would need to look into what the clubs would be looking to pay. But he was happy to take that offline and talk to Councillor Williams.
There was a procedure thing as well, wasn't there, where what if you need a procedure in place, so if the grass pitch is waterlogged, that there's, and it's agreed beforehand, obviously, isn't it? Because we did have an awful lot of rain, didn't we, over the autumn, so a lot of these fields have been in the same position, wouldn't they? When these all-weather pitches are quite often nearby, aren't they? They're just in the same school,
Yeah, there almost needs to be an out-of-hours sort of function, isn't there? That look, I can't play on this pitch. What can you give me? And if the answer is nothing, the answer is nothing, Chair. But there almost needs to be something that can be, there's someone to ring just to see.
I didn't quite catch all that then. What did he say?
Sorry, Chair.
I think the speakers behind us. It goes out a bit, Martin. Sometimes it's a little bit fuzzy.
Oh, apologies. I was just agreeing. Yes, there needs to be a procedure for that. That's all, Chair.
Yeah, all Councillor Williams was saying that there almost needs to be a procedure in place because a lot of these things happen out of hours. Yes. So if a pitch is unusable, you can't phone the council to find out what we can do. So we almost need to have a process in place to be able to take it out of a box and be able to use it. Was that right, Councillor Williams?
That's correct. That's correct. Thank you.
Can you add that to it as well? Yeah, just.
Yeah, I've made note of that, Chair.
Yeah, thank you.
So page 72 F8 then, Councillor Stephen Bledsoe spoke about the local authority having an accessible and well-known way of arranging temporary road closures, and it was discussed that there needs to be further explanation.
Andrew was going to get back to us on that, he said, didn't he? He was going to try to get some clarity what...
Yes, I believe so, Chair.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And then Councillor Martin Williams talked about the Town and Community Council not seeming to be joined up with VCBC and the partnership between the two. Councillor Spanswick agreed that they could and needed to do better and the partnership needed to be improved. So I didn't know whether that could be a recommendation to put forward.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's important that town, especially nowadays with all the cuts in BCBC, because the town councils tend to have a pretty fixed budget, don't they? Just about they got some money, and they can access grants. Yeah. So I think this. As time goes on with the circumstances we're in today, I think that is crucial, to be honest. Yeah. I'm glad to see the cabinet member is taken on board.
Chair, if I might, to me, that's one of the most important recommendations. I struggle to see how, as a county, we can move forward if we don't have the willing town and community councils fully on board.
Yeah, agreed. So that's definitely on there, Martin. Thank you.
And then last Chair, I didn't catch all of this, unfortunately, so if I could have just a bit of clarity on it, but Councillor Jonathan Pratt mentioned on page 91 the children's participation, particularly the 0 to 3-year-olds, and I think Andrew Thomas advised he'd come back with more information.
Yeah, Andrew sort of agreed with him that it seemed a bit illogical what was on the report, I think is what he said, not in paraphrasing, to use Martin's term. To use Stephen's term, and he's gonna check it out and get back. I think is that what he said, something like that, wasn't it? Jonathan, Councillor Pratt.
Yeah, I think it's it's a bit of a bizarre one. I mean, like I've said, I mean, obviously with a 3-year-old myself, I've not known of any engagement with parents and myself, though I am conscious that for the last 3 years it's been fairly difficult with COVID. But it's I mean, the participating schools is bizarre for me. The 0 to 3-year-olds don't go to school, no. So I think they need to find a system of how to engage with. I mean, parents are more important. I mean, you speak to a 1-year-old, you're going to get a lot of gobbledygook, but it's what do they want, is this working, and I get it out there. So online consultations, engagement from council officers at events that are held, is this good, how could we improve it? So I mean, I do think they really need to look at how they engage with parents of 0 to 3-year-olds better. But that's not to say that's not a criticism of what's going on now, as I said during the meeting. But I mean, engagement with parents is key. And the question that was there, we work with 0 to 3-year-olds in participating schools, was just really bizarre. And I think it threw Andrew off as well. So yeah,
it did throw Andrew off. But do you remember what he said? What his response was? That's what we're trying
to it and get back to me. I think.
Yeah,
I think it's a line, and he saw this doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Why is it there? It's obviously been written, but so I think we've picked up on something there that needs to be looked at.
Okay, well, we'll ask Andrew for a response to that point then, if we can't remember exactly what he said. It'll be on the tape, won't it, I suppose?
Yeah, I'll have a look into that, Chair. Yeah. So that was everything I had down, unless members have anything else they would like to add.
Any other recommendations, guys, or?
Chair, one last thing, I have to drop off shortly. I can't quite remember what the response was to my question about the money. It seemed to be a long response, but I can't remember what the gist of it was.
It was quite a long length. I'm not sure exactly what. Didn't Claire answer that? Didn't she? I can't remember. Lucy, do you remember?
Yeah, apologies. I did ask it, and I should have perhaps paid more attention, but I can't. Yeah, there didn't seem to be anything conclusive.
Yeah.
I will. I'll have a look. And,
yeah. Lucy will have a look at the tape.
Tape.
Sorry.
Tape.
Well. Yeah. Okay. I'll look at the video and try to see what it says, and we'll make a recommendation from there. Is that okay, Matt?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay,
I'm sure there's something in it, but I just can't remember. Sorry.
No, I know. When you give long-winded answers, it is sometimes difficult to remember exactly what was said, isn't it? Or what the point is, the one little point that they make. Councillor Clark, please. You've waited patiently there.
Thanks, Chair. Just one other thing that I think that Councillor Martin Williams brought up was the fact that the survey was sent out to town and community councils around election time.
That was Councillor Bledsoe, that was.
Well,
no.
Councillor Bledsoe,
Yeah.
it was one or the other, you know, and I think that we should make a point of that.
Well, I think we are making a point of that. Yeah, we think that is on the recommendations, Nora, I believe.
Right, it wasn't mentioned though.
Was it mentioned? Hang on.
Lucy didn't mention it.
Lucy?
Yes, it was the point Councillor Bledsoe made about the 5 town and community council responses.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And officers to be mindful.
It is down, Nora. Rest assured, anyway. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
It is there. Yeah, it's going to be one. It's a valid one. That.
No probs.
2 minutes. So are they all the recommendations there in front of you now? Yeah, so far. Can anybody think of anything else you'd like to put on for recommendation? Anything? No. Anybody out in the virtual world got anything else to add? Okay, we'll move.
Because your microphone's on.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't notice it. Thank you. Okay, we move on to item 5, the forward work programme. Could the scrutiny officer please present the report?
Thank you, Chair. So following on from members' consideration of the forward work programme at the previous meeting on the 14th of November, the forward work programme for this committee is attached as Appendix A. The SOC forward work programmes will be included in the next report to COSC with any updates from each SOC meeting included. The recommendations monitoring action sheet is attached as Appendix B to track responses to committee's recommendations at the previous meeting. The recommendations are set out in paragraph 9 on page 17. The committee has recommended to consider and approve the forward work programme attached. If I could draw members' attention to Appendix A and the addition of the draft medium-term financial strategy 2022-23 to 2025-26 and budget proposals, which is on the 23rd of January 2023. And could I also inform members that the homelessness strategy will now be scheduled for April, and if the committee are happy for the Bridgend 2030 net zero carbon strategy, biodiversity action plan and the future waste services work streams will be scheduled into 2 further separate meetings. I'll hand back to you, Chair, for any questions from members. Okay,
just for the record, the report's on page 137, if everybody's found it. I had to scroll madly to get it. So is everyone happy with that work programme going forward? Noting the change that Lucy just pointed out to us. They bring the homeless one in on the Monday, the 17th of April, you said? Lucy, was it? Yeah, and the zero carbon on the others, we moved to 2 separate meetings further in 23. Okay. Sorry? Yeah. No. Councillor Williams, you got anything to add? I got Councillor Ian Williams first, then Councillor Nora Clark. Ian, please.
Can we just put the screen back up? Let's go. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed with the fact that we haven't had a chance to take a look at the Just Solutions report into major playgrounds and play parks in the county borough. I think it was aimed at Newbridge Fields, the Planker and Maesteg Park.
Yeah.
And there's recommendations within that report which I hope don't affect any of the decisions made by the or not included in today's scrutiny. I hope that's not been affected in any way by the recommendations within this Just Solutions report.
You frightened me, it overlaps slightly because of the nature.
Yeah, I'm just hoping in hindsight we don't say if we'd known that, we might not have.
Yeah. It's a difficult one because the report isn't out fully yet, I don't think. It's a shame.
Not till next week.
Well, it's Councillor Spanzer tells me that it's a draft report. I got no great knowledge of it, so I'm not going to claim that's fact, but there's something coming out next week. we haven't had it tonight, unfortunately. It was too late to sort of call this meeting off to sort of wait for that to come through. So I think, we were right to press ahead tonight, I believe.
Is it possible, Chair, to put that Just Solutions report in the major play parks in the borough onto the forward work programme?
Yes, I think I would.
So we can take a look at what they recommend and...
Let Rachel wants to come in.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, what I was going to suggest is if we get the published version, and maybe we can have a look at it in terms of discussion via email and see whether it's something that you want just on its own for scrutiny consideration. It could be maybe an information report for scrutiny, which doesn't necessarily need discussion. Or if you do want to look at it in scrutiny meeting, it might be worthwhile looking at it in the bigger picture. I'm just, as I said, none of us have seen it, but I'm just assuming it's linked to cats, for example. So it could be that you maybe want an item on overall community asset transfers, and then that can form part of that big report then. I'm just thinking to make it more strategic and a bigger item for committee to consider. So either it's one way in terms of information report, where you just know about it and that's fine and have it on the agenda as information, or if we want to consider it, maybe put it as something as a bigger one. So maybe we can look at that.
So how are we going to do that then, Rachel? Are we going to get the report and how's that process going to work? So
Chair, that's fine. What we can do is we can get the report, as I said, send it out to members of the committee for any comments and seek your views to how you wish to approach this. And we can take it forward in the forward work programme planning meetings with the corporate director and the cabinet member then.
If it isn't a big item on its own, we can put it in with something else. If there's a huge report like we've had tonight, we could do it. We could do it on its own. It just depends on what comes back. Because like I said, none of us have seen it yet, have we?
Yes, it's because it's so specific. It's very much just on parks. But as I said, I'm just assuming it's linked possibly to community asset transfers. So that might be a good item that this committee might want to consider and link it in with if it wants to consider it in detail.
So we're not adding it tonight, but we'll lose that process now going forward. And sometime in 2023, hopefully it'll be on the agenda. Ian, is that okay?
That's good, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rachel.
I got another hand. I got Nora Clark. Councillor Clark, please.
Thanks, Chair. I wanted to ask a question on page 141 regarding the Shared Prosperity Fund, where the committee agreed to write to the UK government and copy it to Dr. Jamie Wallace and Chris Elmore. And I was wondering whether we'd had any feedback on that, please.
Is this part of the forward work programme down here now?
Oh, it's not the forward work programme. We were discussing the last set of minutes as well, weren't we?
Where's 141? Let me look.
Yeah, it's in the action plan.
All right, okay, yeah. So can I maybe answer that? Yeah, Rachel?
Yes, we will follow that up, Councillor Clark, because I'm not sure whether we've seen anything as yet to that. So we will definitely follow it up.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, I'd like to see whether the local MP, the local MPs have responded to it as well.
No problem. We'll chase that.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're happy with it as it stands. The forward work programme. It's obviously subject to change. It's not cast in stone. It's always flexible document. And as Ian just Ian's item will well prove, hopefully. Okay, so we're happy with that. Yeah, there's no hands up. We can move on. Item 6, urgent items. I haven't had no urgent items. Are there any urgent items? Anybody? Okay, there's no urgent items. There's no hands up. And at that point, it's now 18:05. I won't close the meeting just yet, because obviously this is one of the last meetings before Christmas. It's definitely the last scrutiny meeting, SOC 3, before Christmas. I will wish everyone a happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year. And we'll see you Wednesday. And have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Paul.